1-0 crushed out to right. This one way back. It's gone! A 3-run shot for Keybon in the playoffs. It's a try for him to go for a 6-out save here if there's another man to follow. Green chases upstairs, though, and McKinnon will have his first strikeout at 94 up there to start off the 8th inning. 1-2 from McKinnon. Swing and a miss. Back-to-back Ks to start the 8th for the right-hander. 2 strikes now. Back-to-back Ks to start the 8th. McKinnon dealing quickly for the fastball. Swing and a miss. He strikes out the side in the 8th. Johnson, the Bellingham kid, looking for a walk-off here in his hometown, wearing the Bells uniform for the second time ever in his career. 2 in scoring position, but he's down to his final strike. Here's the 2-out pitch. Bryce Johnson lines this out to right field. Down for a base hit. Schaefer's being waved home. Here's the throw to the plate. Not in time. Schaefer's safe, and the Bells walk it off. My goodness. So a scoreless top of the first by the Night Owls offense, and now it'll be their defense trying to hold Bellingham off the scoreboard early, and their starting pitcher tonight is the man who was the final out in the top of the inning, Tyler Clements, going from at bat to up onto the hill as the two-way right-handed pitcher goes to work for the 13th time this summer as a Night Owl, and so far the results pretty good for this right-hander. 2.67 ERA through his 27 frames, 29 punch-outs in that time to just 9 walks. It's good ratios for him, and Clements finding a nice stride on the mound coming from Colorado State University Pueblo, where he had an ERA that was a 7.55 collegiately, but the results for him in a Night Owls uniform much better than that. And now the Bellingham Bells come to the plate against the starter after a scoreless top half of the inning. Bells down in the 3-game series, 1-0. Night Owls win today, ends Bellingham's season. Bells win forces a decisive Game 3 tomorrow, and Rashad Hayes will start us as Bellingham's leadoff, starting at shortstop tonight. Last night in the leadoff spot for Hayes, he was the second baseman, going 0 of 4 with 3 strikeouts at the plate. So the Stanford infielder trying to have a bounce-back game here in Game 2. So he needs to try and spark the offense early. As Clements deals the first pitch at the bottom of the first, and it's up and inside at 90 miles an hour from the right-hander to get us underway in the bottom of the first inning. Good crowd on hand here in Bellingham for a perfect day for baseball. 74 degrees and sunny in Bellingham as Hayes fouls away the 1-0, gets up and out of play. So a ball and a strike on Bellingham's leadoff. On offense last night for Bellingham, 6 hits, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts at the plate, left 6 runners on base, scoring their 2 runs. Hayes taking an outside strike called against him. So down in the count, ball and 2 strikes. Night Owls only needed 2 arms last night to get the win. Caleb 10, the starter, went 6. Liam Bryan pitched the final 3. As Hayes fouls away the 1-2. 10 in his start, 4 hits, 1 walk allowed for the lone earned run that came against him in the 6th inning when Noah Cassidy delivered the RBI single that scored Bo Schinkel. 10 had 4 strikeouts in his start. Clements may be hunting his first as he faces Rashad Hayes after the foul ball. Another 1-2 home. This one taken for a high ball 2. Count draws even. Bellingham Bells also only utilized 2 pitchers last night. Parker Warner, the 5 innings in his start. 3 2/3 from Weiser. Hayes up the middle on a line shot for the first hit of the game coming off the bat of the shortstop, and it's a leadoff single for Bellingham to get things started on offense. So Hayes has his first hit of the postseason, and it's a 98-mile-an-hour rocket up the middle to get our leadoff man on base for Bo Schinkel. Schinkel, a slip in the outfield in the 9th inning, leading to that bloop single dropping in between him and Hayes out in shallow center that got Nanaimo the walk-off. So Schinkel will bat now here with a man at first. Hayes plenty of speed as well. Schinkel on the ground, left side. Dive play from the shortstop. It's into left field. Musser couldn't get it on the dive, and it's back-to-back swats to put runners at first and second for the Bells early in the first inning. You felt like Bellingham had to get the early momentum. Coming in now 2 runners on for the Bells early. Love to see it. Can they cash them in? Noah Cassie last night got the Bells on the scoreboard first with his RBI knock just off the shortstop's glove. He'll try to add to his 36 RBI this summer. Swinging at the first pitch, hammering it out to left center. This one headed to the gap, and it's down, up against the wall. Hayes easily coming in to score. Schinkel will be held up at third. Cassie the RBI double, and Bellingham the early 1-0 lead. That's how you respond. Clements tagged for 3 straight hits off his first 3 batters. 1 run into score already for Bellingham. Hayes touching home. Schinkel now at third. Cassie at second, with Nate Johnson coming to the dish after a 1 of 3 night for him last night. That included an RBI. He'll try and make this a big inning, as it's an early 1-0 lead for the Bells. First pitch in to Johnson, taken low for ball 1. Johnson, a triple last night to drive in what at the time was the go-ahead run as he swings through his first strike. It's a short fence out in right field at Nanaimo's ballpark, and they got that big old green monster, I guess you can call it, in right. Johnson may be a homer in some other ballparks in the WCL, but not enough height under it last night to get his first of the year. He now bats with runners at second and third. After the RBI double from Cassie. That one fouled away from Johnson. 2 balls and 2 strikes on him. Still no outs in the first with 2 men in scoring position. Already a run in to score for the Bells. The 2-2 to Johnson home. Swings and foul, tips it back into the glove of the catcher, and it will be the first out gain for Tyler Clements, the starting pitcher, on the strikeout of Johnson. So the momentum halted for just a moment, but Matt Churchill comes to the plate and looking to do damage. 34 runs driven in for Churchill on the summer. Last night 0 of 4 though he did put the ball in play each time. Try to do the same here with 1 out. Sacrifice to the outfield can double your lead. Strike 1 dropped in against Churchill is a good start for Clements. 0-1 off the inside of his bat, sliced on the ground. Runner going to come in to score. The throw to first in time to beat Churchill. It'll be an RBI ground out, though, with Schinkel scoring on that grounder. And the lead is now 2-0. Dominic Keon will try and keep things moving in a good first inning for Bellingham. 2-0 the lead against the starter Clements. 3 straight hits, and then the RBI grounder there from Churchill to make it 2-0. And now Keebon bats with Cassie still at second base. Some early swings from the Bells at the plate against the starter Clements. Strike 1 in there against the left fielder Keebon. So 0-1 with 2 outs, man at second for Bellingham. Keebon thought about going on that pitch low, but laid off for ball 1. Keebon 1 for 4 yesterday. Bells had just 6 hits as a team in last night's contest. They've already got 3 in the first inning. Keebon fouls away the strike 2 pitch. Ball and 2 strikes on Keebon. That one he looks at low, called for strike 3. Keebon goes down looking, but Bellingham does the damage. It's a 2-0 lead here in Bellingham as we head into the second. Into the bottom of the 7th here in Bellingham. The lead 3-1 for the Bells in a must-win game for Bellingham after losing last night 3-2. Night Owls took game 1 in this best of 3, so a win tonight for Bellingham evens us at a game apiece, setting up a decisive game 3 tomorrow at 1:35. It'll be a day game here at the park to determine the 3-game series, but still got to get through the rest of the ball game with Bellingham in front. They're up by 2. Try to add to it here as the 9, 1, and 2 hitters come up facing Nonomaya, who took over in the 6th, allowing the Bells' first run since the first inning, making it 3-1 as he surrendered 3 hits and a walk against the 6 batters he faced. Now Peschke leads things off on an 0-of-2 night for him so far. First pitch, curveball for strike 1. Awkward swing from Peschke as he chased it low. Strike 2. Just 2 strikeouts for the Bells at the plate tonight. Those both against the starter Clements as Nono Maya looks for his first. 0-2 to Peschke. He'll get it with 3 straight breaking balls. Swing and a miss from Bellingham's third baseman to start off the bottom of the 7th. Rashad Hayes is up. Shortstop flew out to left in his last trip to the plate. 1 of 2 tonight with a walk, a single, and a run scored. Around the West Coast League tonight, obviously the playoffs in full effect. Wenatchee in the bottom of the 5th, leading Kelowna 7-1. If the Apple Sox win tonight, they advance to the North Divisional Championship game. Breaking pitch once again getting Nono Maya over, this time against Hayes for the 0-1 start. The Pickles leading the Ridgefield Raptors 6-3 in the bottom of the 5th. If they win, the Pickles advance as well. Walla Walla leading Corvallis 3-0, bottom of the 7th. The Sweets trying to force game 3. And then, of course, Bellingham up 3-1, trying to force game 3 as well against the Nanaimo. As Hayes fouls away the breaking ball, it's 0-2. Nono Maya going back to that pitch once again. He's got an 0-2 at bat here against Hayes Bruin. Right-handers 0-2 to Hayes. Hit into left field on 2 hops, and Hayes has a 1-out knock in the 7th for his 2nd hit of the game, 8th by the team tonight. Nono Maya allows his 4th. So Hayes on base 3 times in that leadoff spot for Bellingham, this time coming through with the 1-out knock. Bring up Bo Schinkel. One of 3 with a run scored tonight for Schinkel. '25 played in the Northwoods League, also has experience in the Great Lakes Summer Collegiate League. His first WCL season coming in a Bellingham Bells uniform as the runner goes. Hayes taken out for second. The throw not in time as Musser's tag applied just late on Hayes, who swipes away second base and now is in scoring position for Schinkel, who, as a Bellingham Bell, has had one of the best bat-to-ball skills we've seen through this lineup. The ability to put the ball in play on the ground for Schinkel. If he can find a gap, he can add to the 2-run lead with now Hayes in scoring position and plenty of speed there at second base. 0-1, shot out to left foul from Schinkel, strike 2. Cassie is on deck with 1 out in the bottom of the 7th. 2 runs of cushion, but the Bells would, of course, love a little bit more than that. Gave up 2 runs in the bottom of the 9th inning last night to get walked off, entering the final frame up 2-1. They lead here in the bottom of the 7th, 3-1. Nono Maya still on the mound, dealing with 1 out. Man at second for Bellingham. Schinkel on the ground to the right side. It'll move the base runner up. Easton Mold at second base. Puts away Schinkel on a routine grounder. And there's 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th inning with Hayes at third. So if they want to add to the lead, Cassie will have to do it with 2 outs. Already delivered a RBI double in his first trip to the plate. Retired on groundouts to the left side of the infield his last 2 times, grounding to Severo at third and Musser at short. Batting with 2 outs as the Bells leader in RBI. First time he faced Nono Maya, grounded out to Musser in the 6th inning, was the first batter that Nono Maya faced, inheriting a 3-0 count on Cassie that resulted in an out for the Night Owls. Good recovery from the right-hander, inheriting that 3-0 count from the starter Clements, and starts off the At bat against Cassie here was strike one on the 88-mile-an-hour fastball. 0-1 left in the dirt. Rankin's got to be a brick wall behind home plate. Anything that gets away, you could assume that Rashad Hayes is going to try and take home on with that speed that we've already seen steal a base in this inning. One. Fouled away for strike two. That breaking pitch, Cassie couldn't square up as it's fouled back for 2 strikes. One and two on Bellingham's right fielder. 2 outs and a man at third. Hayes dancing off of third, trying to distract the right-hander. Unfazed, Nonomaya comes home. And the breaking pitch is not swung on by Cassie on the appeal down to third base or first base. It's another part of these 3-man crews. You have a man at both sides of the infield to determine whether the batter swung, and they say Cassie didn't, so 2 balls and 2 strikes. Nonomaya home with the pitch to Cassie. Swung on and missed. Strikeout, and the man left at third. We go to the 8th. It's 3-1. Bells in front of the Night Owls, needing the win tonight to keep their season alive.